All right, so let's get started. So welcome everyone to another Tech Tuesday. We are going to be talking about KvCore some more. A lot of people seem to have issues or having a hard time learn how to use the program. It's a really cool software to use as a realtor. It'll take your business to a whole other level if you can master the art of KvCore. Feel free to interrupt me at any moment with any questions. If I don't know the answer, we'll find it together. And yeah, last time I had some questions that I didn't know the answers to, and I don't know if those people are in the meeting right now, but I do. And as I go over today's topics, I'll make sure to answer those. Okay. All righty. So let me let a few more people in. Let's see. Looks good. Awesome. So today I want to talk more about playbooks. Okay. I'm still going to talk about it. I'm going to go through the whole software just really quickly because we did a lot of basics last time. I'm still going to go over everything again, but just a little bit faster. And then we'll focus on playbooks today. Okay, so just to get started, last time we talked about making sure everything is set up properly. And we did that by, so once you log into KvCore, this is kind of what you see. And at the top right corner of the screen, let me make this full screen here. At the top right here, you're going to tap on your name and then it'll bring you to your profile. So you're going to click the My Profile button. Okay, and when you click on here, you'll get to see all of the information that KvCore has and is working with. You want to make sure everything on here is accurate and fill in all the blanks. So anything that you don't see filled out that you know, make sure to fill that out. Because all the information you see on the screen, KvCore will use to make itself work for you. So like your social media, this information on here will be populated on your KvCore website. So if you have any of these, make sure to have that on there. Contact information also. All of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. And to edit any of this, you'll press the Edit Profile button right here, the blue button right here. So when you click on that, it'll give you the option to change any of this or add any extra information. Okay, so for some of you guys, depending on your brokerage, you might get this application for free. I assume most of us here are with EXP, but if not, do talk to your broker and see if you have anything like this available because it's amazing. So yeah, make sure all this information looks good. If some things are missing, fill it in. If you don't know certain information, like last time we talked about the agent MLS ID and the NRDS ID, those did not come filled in for me. So the first one right here, this is the username you use to log into your MLS through your local association. And the NRDS ID will also be found with your local association. So I'm part of the South Bay Association of Local Realtors. And in my sign up email, on my welcome email when I joined, this information was actually on there. So if you don't have this, make sure to get a hold of them and then grab that information and pop it in there. This is very important because KvCore will use this login info right here to actually pull information from the MLS so that you can see them on the app itself. So whatever listings are on the MLS, you will be able to see them here on KvCore and actually send them out to potential clients or, compile cool information that you can send out to anyone, even through social media. So that's pretty cool. So make sure this field is filled out, very important. Contact information. Make sure About Me is also filled out. This will show on your website. So have something cool in there, something that shows you're not just any regular agent, just, brag about yourself. That way people can see all the awesome things you could bring to the table. down here, we have the email signature area. So you want to fill this out because you'll probably be sending a lot of emails using KvCore. So make sure that you have something on here with your name, your brokerage information, contact information, and your license number. Because a lot of the things that you're going to send are most likely going to be advertisement and, you know, promotion content. So you want to make sure your real estate agent information is on there to abide by all the rules we have to. And then if we scroll down, let's see. All right. If we scroll down right here, I don't have this part filled out. I don't know that it shows on your website, but if you want to fill this out just to make sure everything is completely looking good, you can put your background, experience, education, and all that fun stuff. Letting more people in. Welcome, Denise. All right. So yeah, this is a basic overview of everything you need to have set up before you get started with KvCore. Also, make sure you have a nice image here, because the photo that's up here will actually be the one displayed on your website. So you want to make sure you have something that looks really good over there. Let's let Raquel in. Boom. All right. So when you're done setting this up and everything is looking good, you're going to press save. Because if you don't do that, none of your changes will actually take effect. So don't forget to press the save button. All right. So once you have that set up, we're going to move on to the dashboard. But before I start talking about this section, do we have any questions at all? Anything? And also do use the chat if you prefer so, and I'll get back to you. All right. No questions? Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the dashboard and then your smart CRM, the listing tab, maybe a little bit of marketing, but then I want to really emphasize and focus on Playbooks today. You could do a lot of cool stuff using those, and I feel like I didn't explain those properly last time, so I want to spend a little bit more time on those. So on here, this is the dashboard at the left, on the left side. If you guys don't see this menu right here, you want to press the 3 bars, this will pop up and show you all these options. But on the dashboard, you will see pretty much, you're going to see a lot of information. And think of the dashboard as your newspaper, where you get to see everything that's been going on, maybe all the tasks that you still need to do or that you set yourself to do. People who have visited your website, people who have emailed you or texted you or tried to call your smart number. So all of that cool stuff will actually populate right here at the bottom under the activity tab. Okay. And you can break it down into, you know, and see exactly what you're trying to see that day. So if you click on the activity tab, you can scroll through this drop down right here. And more people coming in. Let's see. Admit. All right. So on here, you can scroll through, you know, specific things you want to see. Maybe you just want to answer questions on a particular day. So you're going to press the drop down, click on questions, and then on here, you'll get to see all the questions everyone's been asking you. Or you can click the shortcut buttons here to go through some popular areas. So any new leads that have showed up based on, you know, them visiting your website or calling your smart number or texting your smart number will pop up here. Any new text from anyone will pop up here, new emails, hot leads, any properties that people have been looking at will all populate here. So let me scroll down here. So these little squares you see, so each of these are basically, you know, let's take this one, for example. So 8 hours ago, John Porras clicked on my website and he viewed a listing. And so I know exactly what he was looking at, kind of what he's looking for. And based on the information I have on John, I'm able to email him or maybe send him a video through email. And we have Julio here. A day ago, also visited my website, checked out this property. I have more information about Julio, so I can decide to follow up with him based on what he did through email. I can call, video, or text him. And you can kind of scroll through these, see what's been going on, and follow up with people every day. So make sure you're familiar with this section because you get to see everything that's happening at the moment. All right, looks like Misty, you have a question, go for it.
Were those properties automatically uploaded to your website? Or did you do it?
So the way, what I did is, so I use a software called Mojo Dialer. So I actually downloaded all of the data on there for expired listings. And I sent out a marketing email to all those people for, I sent out a, what was it? A market report of Los Angeles. Okay, I sent 6,000 people an email just giving them a free market report using KvCore. And maybe I'll get to show you guys that today, but that's them basically looking at the properties that, you know, are within that market report. So whatever they clicked on, I can see kind of what price range they're thinking of, you know, what the property details were. So all of these are within the Los Angeles area, and people just kind of looked at the market report for that area, and they're all, you know, responding and clicking on things, and I get to see that on here.
No, but okay, but you said, I understand that you sent out the market report.
Yeah.
But how did that populate the particular properties on your website? Were those websites already on there, and then they could go to your website and click on them?
No, so when they click on, you know, the link for the market report, it'll bring them to my website, and then on my website, it'll feature some of the listings, you know, that the market report comprises. And if they click on any particular one, it will send me, you know, that information.
So that's what I'm saying. How did you get, you said your website features some of the listings. How did you get some of those listings to be featured on your website?
Okay, I'm actually going to emulate the process, but when you send out the market report and they click on that, and that's a designated area, I get to choose. So I just put Los Angeles County and sent out a market report. And when they clicked on it and went on the website, your website is already connected to your MLS. So based on that area, is going to suggest, you know, it's going to show some of the listings that are related to that market report, if it makes sense. So homes that have been sold, homes that are sitting on the market, how many have, you know, how many are active right now. So it'll show those under the market report page based on the area I sent out the market report for. So it'll just have a bunch of photos of different properties they can scroll through, and they can actually search some on their own. So whatever they click on, that just shows on my end. I don't know if I still didn't answer the question.
No, but that's okay.
Okay. I'll try to emulate the process. That way, maybe while I'm doing that, you'll be able to see how it came to be this way. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So on here, this is the basic overview for the dashboard. You'll just kind of see everything that's been going on, and you can flip through those and kind of customize it how you like. Okay. On the top side right here, you have 3 different sections. KvCore will suggest certain things you need to do to, you know, maybe build your pipeline, get seller leads. And then they have this thing called the marketplace where you can purchase extra features, maybe whether that be, you know, hiring, outsourcing, people calling your contacts. There's a bunch of cool things you can purchase in the marketplace. I didn't mess with any of the paid, you know, extras just yet, but they have a bunch of cool stuff on there. Maybe we'll browse through those, but that's what the marketplace is. The middle section with the playbooks, which we'll be mostly talking about today, we have 3 playbooks available. You can do the promote a listing playbook. You can gather your sphere of influence, or you can work your sphere of influence. So the bottom 2 right here are kind of interlocked, because you cannot work your sphere without gathering your sphere. And we'll be walking through that today mainly, okay? But that's what this is right here. So it's a shortcut to your playbooks. You can access playbooks through here, or you could just click on the playbooks button on the left-hand side right here. And this last column, this is a place you could go to for extra training on KvCore. This is hosted by the KvCore team, I assume. You can click here for courses, maybe live streams and webinars. I have not done any of these, but I'm sure they're pretty great. So this is kind of where you would go if you want to, on your own time, maybe learn some of the stuff they have on there. So yeah, this is the basic overview of the dashboard. And at the very top right here, this is if KvCore has any announcement, you'll kind of see that on there. So yeah, that's that. And let's go over the top options really quickly. Let's see, let me push this aside. So on here, this is the marketplace. Let me just click there just so you see what it looks like. It has a bunch of cool things you could play around with. Property boost is something you can use to advertise a listing you have through Facebook and other social media platforms, but it's paid. I have noticed that most paid things have an orange icon or maybe a green icon. So if it's all blue, chances are it's included in KvCore. If it has funny colors, I noticed that they're always paid. So I have not played around with any of these, maybe a little bit with Property Boost, but everything else is pretty much paid for. So if you want to tamper with any of those or check out what they are, just feel free to read the descriptions and learn more and get it added on for an extra fee. Okay, so that's what the marketplace looks like. And it'll have descriptions for all of those. So I'm gonna go back here. So quick actions. So under this tab right here, you can add a contact manually. So this is just a shortcut to do that. You can call a specific person, add a note to a specific contact. You can create a task. You can even make blog posts, which is pretty cool. Or you can also send an email to someone straight from the quick actions button. And then these two right here. So the first one here, this will show you your messages. So if you do any changes to your account, or if someone sends you an email, any of your contacts, it tends to populate right here. This one is also a notifications tab, but it's more so for tasks, okay? So anything that you need to do for the day, it'll show here. So I have to call all these people that still due today. And people who are past due and tasks that are past due will show up here. So that's what this section is. And then on here, this last button right here just kind of shows everything you've been up to, so you can see the history of the changes you've made. And then here we already know this is your KvCore settings. So at the top here, I don't know if you got to talk much about the smart number, but this number is very important. Briefly, just to go over what it does. So think of the smart number as your work number, okay? This is the number that will show when you use KvCore to call anyone. It's not going to show your personal number. This is the one that will show. Now, you will get assigned a smart number upon setting up KvCore, but by default, that number is set to change. I don't remember how often it changes, but that number is not the one you have forever. You actually need to pay for a subscription to have your own smart number that you get to keep. And I don't play around with a lot of paid features on KvCore, but this one I personally recommend, because the thing is, if you send out any type of advertisement, or you call a lot of clients using your smart number, one day it's going to change because it's not assigned to you forever. So make sure that you're okay with always having a new smart number, or if not, I recommend you opt in for the paid subscription. I think it's $27 a month and you get to keep that. And it's really powerful because with that same smart number, anyone who calls it, texts it, or pretty much interacts with it in any way, it will tell KvCore on the back end who that person is, and it's always going to be the same number. So it makes it a little bit easier to manage, in my opinion. So that's what that is. Okay. And what happens when you don't have the paid subscription and someone reaches out to the number and you don't pick up? I believe it gets routed, it gets channeled through all of the agents within your brokerage. So I could have this smart number today, and tomorrow maybe Mystic could have this smart number. Okay, so it's not necessarily attached to you forever. It'll just kind of cycle through all the agents unless you have your own, paid for smart number. So that's what that is. At the bottom here, this is your brokerage email. So that's my first and last name at EXP. And then below that, with the little world icon, this is your EXP website. So when you click on this, it will actually open up your EXP Realty website. I'm going to show you guys what mine look like. And you can customize all of this. It's pretty cool. Later down the line, I also want to talk about the website a little more and how you can go ahead and customize all that stuff, make it look nice. They do not come like this. They come in a different template. I kind of change things around, change the colors, but this is what your KvCore website will look like. And this is at no additional fee. It just comes with, at least with the EXP package, we get the website for free also. And yeah, you can change all these texts and, change it to your liking, change the photos, how everything is arranged. So it's pretty cool. And this is that little about section that I was telling you guys about. So that will actually show on your website. Okay. And all of this you can change within the settings, but this is kind of what that looks like.
How did you get to your website again?
Yes, for sure. I'm going to go back here. So to get to your website on the KvCore application, you want to go to the top right where you see your name. You're going to click on there and it'll have your website under your email. Okay. So you could just click on that to go to the website, or you can just type in the link and end up in the same place. Okay. It should be, if you're with EXP, should be your first name, last name, .exprealty.com. Okay. And that will only work after you set up KvCore, because it comes as one package. Okay, so that's how you access that. Let me make sure there's no questions in the chat. Oh, we're looking good. Awesome. So these first three, your smart number, your brokerage email, your EXP or KvCore website, this is your profile. We are already familiar with this. And the rest here is basically shortcut to, maybe other agents, your lenders that you have in your system. If you're in a team, you can click here and see kind of, what your team looks like. The offices for me is going to be EXP Realty. Your website, you can have more than one website, but the one that's going to be integrated with KvCore is your brokerage one. Okay. So you can have your personal website listed also, but it's just going to be there as an extra thing people can click on your website, but it's not going to be at the forefront of your website. Yeah, lead routing. I have not used lead routing. Let's check out phone really quickly. So yeah, this, I just clicked my name and then on phone. So this right here will actually show who had what smart number in your brokerage. Because I'm paying for mine will always stay like this. Ooh, I'm so sorry, guys, my window's open. I'm paying for my own smart number, so it's never going to change. But if you were not, this is kind of, what the change in smart numbers look like. You can kind of keep track of what smart number was associated with your brokerage. So as you can see, it changes a lot. So when you want to make sure you have something consistent, I would recommend, but if not, it's definitely not mandatory. Okay, and you can purchase that smart number on here. You could just click the buy number and then it'll walk you through the payment process, and then you'll have your own. And all of these other fields, self-explanatory, agents, that's me. The lenders, you can look for specific lenders. I believe these are lenders within our brokerage. When you start typing it, it'll suggest the person's name, but I don't know any of them. I know my own lender. And then teams, I'm not part of a team, so nothing's going to show here. Offices, so this is my office, so EXP Realty of California. And then websites, right here. So this will show the EXP website itself. And at the bottom, this is my KvCore website. And through here, there's shortcuts to your site overview and your site settings. So you could go ahead and tweak that. Okay, but we're not going to do too much website stuff today. I really want to take a look at the playbooks with you guys. And then phone, we've already seen this guy. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Is there any questions so far? Anything in the chat? Okay. Awesome. So before we get to the playbooks, I want to go through the Smart CRM and the listings tab really quickly, because this is very important that you get a handle of. So on here, when you click on Smart CRM, this page basically has all of the contacts you have within KvCore. Okay, so this will sort through all of them. You can view a maximum of 250 at a time. It's a little bit annoying when you're trying to select a bunch of people to send them out to send out an email or maybe a text. I have chatted with the KvCore system, and it looks like there's no way to select more than 250 at a time manually. There's other ways to bypass that, but just so you guys know, the maximum is 250. So we're gonna go through this bar right here. So on here, you'll have a filter option to filter through all of your contacts. And if I click on that, there's plenty of ways you can differentiate between, the list of your contacts. You can sort them through maybe people who are only in your sphere, people who are active leads. If you're in a team, who are they assigned to? Whether they're a buyer, seller, etc. Pretty much all types of filters on here. You can search through anyone in your contacts list really quickly this way. And something really cool is you can save filters, okay? So let me show you guys an example. Let's say I want to filter through contacts that are maybe sellers, and they have a phone number and an email on file, okay? And I can save that filter, and then you can create a name for it. So let's just call it test filter for now. And I would recommend you can pin this at the top. I'll show you what that does. So we're actually going to turn this on and then save this new filter. Okay. And it looks like this is the only contact, which is me actually, who's a seller and has a phone number and an email on file. So when you save a filter and you go up to the Smart CRM tab right here, it'll actually populate under all contacts. So by me clicking this, it will automatically generate everyone in my contacts list who is a seller, who has a phone number, and who has an email. So this is a quick way to, quick shortcut to certain contacts in your list. Let me see, I have 2 questions here. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes, you can create your own filters. So yeah, when you pin it, it will appear here. So it's really quick to get to it. And when you want to get rid of the filter, just go ahead and press clear, and then it goes away. Okay, so that's a pretty cool way to get to it. This is not the only way to get to your saved filters. At the top here, you'll see these tabs. It will actually show all of your filters as well. So I don't know if there's a limit to it, but you could create more than one for sure. So that's how you create filters and how you filter through your contacts, which is very powerful. After that, you have a search bar here, pretty self-explanatory. If you just want to search up, someone specific, you can type their name or their address, and then they will populate under here. Okay. Let's see, mass email. So you can actually select individual contacts to your liking, and you can click any of these action buttons to interact with them. So if I want to send John Doe and myself an email, I will just check on John Doe and myself and click on mass email. What that will do is it'll open up a pop-up where I can, type up an email to them, whatever I do want to say to them. You type up a subject, and you can also have templates for emails. So KvCore will already come equipped with a bunch of sample, templates for you to use. So let's see, the one I used recently is expired, so you can kind of type some of this in and it'll show you if there's anything related to that. So we could click on this template, for example. Let me do that again. Expired. So yeah, when you click on a template, it'll automatically fill in that, template into the message section. And then you don't have to change these. KvCore already knows to populate their first name based on this format right here. And when you're typing out your own emails and not necessarily from a template, all you have to do is open up the bracket and then just type, whatever detail you want KvCore to fill in. And then KvCore will know to just auto-populate with their name right here. Okay, so I don't expect you guys to remember all of the spelling, but it's typically just whatever you're looking for and a dash in between for spaces. But you can type them up yourself if you would like also. Okay, so you have plenty of options here to change up your fonts and make it as nice as you want it to look. And I'm going to cancel this. All right, and if you want to select everyone, you could just press the checkbox next to first name and it'll select everything on that page. And after you filter through specific people, you can do just that. Select all the people you filtered through, send them an email. In the same way you can send an email, you can send a text, you could send video messages. Video messages, you can only send a video to one person at a time. If you want to send a video to more than one person at a time, there is a fee you have to pay for that. So just so you guys know, if you guys are trying to send videos to more than one person, that is something that does not come free. And then right here, let's check another contact. So if you want to do other things like maybe add a task that's related to a specific person in your database, you can do so right here. You can add hashtags to them. You can change their status being whether they're your sphere, maybe they're they're an active lead, maybe you've closed. So KvCore will keep track of all that. And then you can share, archive, do a bunch of cool stuff under here. Okay, so that's pretty much the CRM section. I'm quickly going to open up a contact just so we guys can see. So this is John Doe. This is something I created myself, and I encourage all of you guys to create a test contact. It could be yourself or just something random, so that you can play around with the features of KvCore and see what it kind of looks like on the other end. Okay, so when you open that up, this is what you're greeted with. On the left-hand side, you kind of get the contact information, all the basic stuff, phone number, address, email, any hashtags. I'll touch on hashtags in just a bit. Whether they're a buyer or seller, they can be one of these at a time. So anything green is what they are. This is just a test contact, so I just have it set as buyer. You get some information about the origins of the contact. So I manually added this one. And then right under here, contact validation is something really cool that I have not seen anywhere else. Maybe the other CRMs do that nowadays, but I think this is really cool. What this means is you can run a contact validation on this specific contact. And what that does is KvCore will, based on the information KvCore has, it will actually search for extra information based off of that. So sometimes KvCore can find their social media accounts, it can find their, other emails, other phone numbers they might have. It's not super accurate, but it's nice to have that feature. Maybe when you don't have enough information about someone, that can give you more things to, contact that person with. So that's really cool. You don't have to pay anything. You can just run that and it'll populate more info. All right. And then at the bottom, if you're on a team, this might look different for you, but I'm not. So I own this contact and it's assigned to me and I'm not sharing it with anyone else. So that's that section. In the middle right here, you have two different sections. You have a client journey and you also have the timeline. Client journey is self-explanatory. based on your interaction with the contact, KvCore will classify it as one of these, you know. Sphere, someone you may or may not know who may or may not be interested in buying. Prospect, someone who's shown a little interest in maybe buying. A new lead is someone who reached out to you in some way or went on your website, wants to check for something. It'll classify as an active lead after that person has, you know, actively been in contact with you, has gone back to your website after, you know, multiple times, and then they become a client when you're actually working with them. And you can change these manually, but a lot of these KvCore will automatically set for you based on your interaction with that person. And then self-explanatory contract, once you're in contract, and then when you close, you can switch it to close. Okay. And you can also sort through people's statuses. So if you go to your CRM, smart CRM section, this page right here, you can actually filter through their status also. So if you want to just talk to people who you've closed with and send them a, you know, nice message, you could just do that, apply that filter, and it'll only populate with that. All right. And then this bottom section here, also pretty straightforward. It's will show you everything, all the interactions you've had with that contact in chronological order. So bottom is the first interaction all the way to, you know, whatever happened between you and that contact. You can search for specific things. You can refresh to see if anything new has been happening. The inbox button right here will show you anything that contact has sent you, okay? And you can also scroll through, you can choose to see different things here, all the calls you've made to that person, all the notes pertaining to that person. You can change all this up. So that's that middle section. And then on the third section right here, this is the action section, okay? You can take action on this contact by calling them. You can leave a note on their profile. You can send them an email from here, a text. Voicemail drop, it is a feature you have to pay for, but it just, you know, you can send them directly a voicemail instead of having to call them. You can send them a video. Looks like we have a question here. Let's see. Yeah, Melissa, you can share something for sure.
So I when I started using this and I would send emails out, I was like, how do I know they're reading it or receiving it? So I asked KvCore. So if you scroll down a little bit in the middle section, like where an email has been sent out, or did you have any?
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah. So an email. So if you hover over, yep, it'll say right there that it'll say, I think it says like viewed. Yeah. And that means they have opened it.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool. So
and then if they have not looked at it, then I forget what it says, not viewed or not opened or something like that, unopened or something like that.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that share. I did not know that myself.
Yeah.
So that's cool to see.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. So now you know when they are just purposely ignoring you. That's cool. Thank you, Melissa. All right. Let's see. Any other questions, anyone, before we keep going? All right. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying under here, also self-explanatory, you can interact with the contact. You could do a bunch of stuff. If you want more options, you can actually click here and you can do more stuff. You can unsubscribe them from text messages, emails, merge them with someone else, export, sky's the limit. You can also find them on Facebook, which is pretty cool, or any other social media that's on here. Okay. And then lastly, under here, this is what kind of alerts they are subscribed to. So you can manually add this, or you can do this also from this section right here. You can select a bunch of clients and you can set up alerts for them. Okay. Let me go back to John Doe right here. So this specific contact is not enrolled in, let me close this. This specific contact is not receiving any property alerts from me, is not enrolled in any active campaigns or market reports. But if they are, you'll be able to see that here and actually remove them from it or edit it from here. Okay, another section you can go to is actually up here. Okay, this will show what alerts they have going on. You can kind of cancel those, turn them off, change them, or create one. And a contact can have 2 separate alerts at most. So you can alert them about properties in a specific neighborhood, and alert 2 can be another type of alert for a different kind of property or different area. So, which is also pretty cool. I don't know if they have plans of making more, but chances are someone's only going to be looking for one thing at a time. But you have 2 if you need to. Okay. And let's go through each of these sections really quickly. So we already know the timeline that looks like this. If you click on profile details, this will show you all of the information that you have on that particular person. Okay, if you've assigned them to a lender, that'll pop up here, their contact info, address, the whole 9 yards. And if you press edit right here, you can fill in all of this information. Okay, as you talk to them, if you learn any of these information, maybe you find out about their birthday, you could pop that in here. And then KvCore can actually send birthday email and text and everything. So that's really nice. It always keeps you in touch with people and you don't have to lift a finger. Okay, so that's the section. And again, anything you do on KvCore, you want to look for the Save Changes button. Otherwise, your changes will not register. So that's that. Alerts we've already seen. Files is anything you've shared or anything you want to store that's pertaining to that client. So if you have any documents, you can connect your Google Drive and actually store those here. So it's a really neat way to organize things. Okay, transactions, this will show any form of transactions you've had with that person on here. And if you have any tasks related to this person, it'll show here. So I don't have any tasks created for this contact, so it's not going to show anything, but you can add one right here. Okay, and you can also do so under the timeline section. Okay, you can add a note, you can add a task right here. Okay, so this is the overview of what a contacts card looks like. And let's see, I don't think I've missed anything. All right, any questions before we move on to the listings tab? Anything that confuses you? Anything you want to know if you can do maybe? Okay. All right, so let's go through the listings tab and then we'll do some playbooks. So the listings tab is almost identical to the Smart CRM tab with all your contacts. On here, it'll show you properties, and all of this information that you see here is attached to your MLS, okay? So this information, let's click on this property, for example. On here, you'll be able to see, you know, the property details, the MLS ID of that property. You can see, you can see an overview, the listing description, and all the cool stuff you get to see on your MLS, but right from KvCore itself. You can see photos of it, similar listings, the activity that's been going on with this listing, pretty cool stuff. And I think this is funny, it actually shows you what your revenue would be if you were to close a deal on it at 3%. So anyone find a client for this property, this is what you're looking at, which is pretty cool. Let's see, on here, you'll get to see the listing agents, their contact information, and whether or not there's an open house. And when you click on specific listings, you can send them via email to specific contacts. So this is me actually clicking on this button right here. And then you can search for a contact to send this listing to. So if it matches someone else's, one of your client's criteria, you could just click there, find them, and then KvCore will auto-populate a lot of information too. So it'll be on there, and then you can fill in all the details. If you have a template for this kind of email, you can kind of look for that here, or use one of KvCore's if one closely matches what you're trying to say. And then, yeah, you can just press the send and send it out. Okay. I'm going to close this. Boost Property is a really cool tool, but you do also have to pay for that. It kind of creates social media posts for you about this property that you can share on Facebook or you know, other social media platforms. We're not going to go over that today. It's a paid feature, but it's really cool. Under more actions, you can also send this via text. You can email to a specific group of hashtags, which I need to get to, text it to hashtags and do a cool, a lot of cool stuff on here and post them on other social media places. Really, really quickly, I just want to talk about hashtags because they're extremely important. So let me make sure my contacts load here. So a hashtag is another way to group contacts together. And give me 1 second. It's a little bit loud. All right, sorry about that. Something's going on out there today. The ambulance keeps going back and forth. Yeah, so hashtags are really, really important. You'll be using them pretty much every single time you use KvCore to be able to, find specific groups of contacts. So I'm under John Doe, and I can attribute any hashtag I want here, okay? There's multiple ways to create hashtags. Way number one would be to open up the contacts, scroll to hashtags, and you can classify John Doe maybe as a friend, okay? So you could type that in, click, and then once it pops up down there, now the hashtag is attributed to John Doe. So let's say I attribute myself the friend hashtag on here too. So now the friend hashtag is also attributed to this contact, who is myself. And I can actually perform searches under the filters section. I could go to contact details, and under the hashtag section, you can just type that hashtag we just created and then apply, and it will show everyone who has that hashtag, attached to them. So I have a bunch of people here who are my friends, and they will pop up under that hashtag. This is very powerful because if you're trying to send out marketing content to a specific niche of people, could be maybe first-time home buyers, you could do hashtag first-time home buyer, hashtag veterans, hashtag, scholars, whatever, the sky's the limit. You can group different contacts and, different sections and interact with them in different ways. So that's what hashtags are. Okay. Now we're pretty familiar with our dashboard. We know how to set up, KvCore, make sure we have all the right information on there under your profile. We know what the smart CRM looks like. We know how to navigate and create, your own filters, interact with different contacts, add hashtags to them. Yeah, let's see. And yeah, we know what this whole interface looks like, hopefully. Now we're going to move on to the playbooks. Okay. And before I get this started, I want to make time for maybe a question if anyone has one. Are we all experts on those basics? Yeah. Okay. All right. So playbooks is it's a little tough to explain, but once you understand how it works, it will simplify a lot of the things you use, CRMs for, a software like KvCore. So they're basically a playbook is a way to streamline certain processes. So let's start off with the Gather Your Sphere playbook. We're going to do Gather Your Sphere and Work Your Sphere. Okay, so if I come up to the playbook section and we open this playbook, Gather Your Sphere, it's going to bring this page up, and you want to open the playbook right here. Okay, so this will walk you through uploading your contacts to KvCore. And you can do that in one of two ways. You can let KvCore handle it, or you can do it yourself. Okay, so this is the first thing you'll see when you open this playbook. When I signed up for KvCore, I actually chose the let us handle it method. And I noticed that they didn't do a great job at that. So I had to actually remove all of my contacts, and it was really grindy. And then I ended up doing it myself. during the last Tech Tuesday, I think someone suggested I do short videos on how to, do certain things on the app. And I've actually started doing that. I will edit those and post those. Maybe I'll do one of, how to upload your contacts yourself. It can seem a little bit scary, but it's actually pretty straightforward. So yeah, you have these two methods. I recommend you do it yourself. And once you do decide to do that, you could just press get started here. Or if you want to let the KvCore team handle it, you could just submit your contacts file. And they accept CSV files, I believe, or an Excel spreadsheet. So you could get started there. It'll take you to a page where you can upload that file, and it will walk you through setting that up. Me explaining this will take some time, so we're going to skip this step. But I will make sure to compile something where you guys can see how this looks if you're interested. And I'll make sure to leave my contact information so that I can send that to you guys upon request. Okay, but this section right here will have you import all of your contacts into the software. And this is very important because if you don't have anyone in your system, then KvCore doesn't have anyone to, market to. You won't be able to do anything. So make sure all of your contacts are in KvCore. Doesn't matter who it is, friends, family, anyone. You can use it to reach out to anyone very easily and keep track of pretty much everything. So I don't see a reason why not to just, upload your stuff there. So once you have your contacts uploaded, whichever way you decide, you can press done here. And then it will take you to the next section. Okay. So we just did the, to use the right terminology, this whole thing is a playbook. And each of these sections are plays. I think that's what KvCore calls them. So once you're done with the import your sphere contacts play, we want to do the capture social media sphere play. Okay, and this one is really cool too. It's still importing more contacts into your database, but in a different way. So KvCore has two options for you to do that. Capture people through social media. You can create a market report squeeze page, or you can do a home valuation landing page. These are really similar, but basically the market report squeeze page is you basically providing a free market report of a certain area of your choosing, and you can share a link to that market report to anyone on your social media, platform. So I'm going to take this off, and let's say we want to offer a market report for the city of Torrance. So I could just type Torrance in here, and KvCore will think and actually find it. So click on that. So that will now register into the system once it pops up here. And as you see, this link will refresh. Okay, so this is really important because you can just copy this link and paste it onto a social media post of your choosing, a social media platform of your choosing, if it's not, Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. So you could have Instagram maybe, or maybe TikTok if you advertise on there. You could provide that link, just copy and paste it onto the post. And this is really great. I hope they make these buttons for more social media platforms. But when you populate this field right here, you can directly click on, let's say, Facebook, for example. I'm going to click on it so we see what it looks like. It will open up Facebook and already create the whole post for you. This is very powerful because it does all the work for you with just the click of a button. So it'll automatically log on, and you can move this out the way. You can post this to your feed. You can, add it to your story. You can tag friends in this post. You can even put how you're feeling. Let's say I'm feeling happy, so you can put that on there. You can even add text, This is a free market report for all of you guys. Create your post, sky's the limit. You make it look nice, add some emojis, more information. And then you could just press the post to Facebook, and it's out there into the world. Anyone who clicks on this link right here will be taken to your website. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a pop-up on your website that's going to ask them for their email and their phone number. Okay, so we're going to actually emulate that process. So I'm going to copy this link, and then I'm going to paste it on here. Oh, that way we know what it looks like. So it'll take them to your website, and then they will see that market report. It didn't ask me for that contact information because I actually made a username for myself. So let's actually open a whole new web browser, and we're going to search that up. That way we can see how it really looks. There you go. So when they click on that link, this is what they will see. Your website will ask them to put their email address. So once they pop that in, it will also ask them for their phone number. And I love the way KvCore, the KvCore website does this, because you get, all the information you need to reach out to them, and they do it in a really slick way, because your phone number is your password to your account on my website. And if you pay attention to the address bar, you could see that this is my KvCore website. So once they fill all this in, they put their contact information. They can continue with their email. I already have an account, so I'm not gonna mess up the system. But once they click on continue with that information, that is when they will see the page we have on the left-hand side. As you can see, it'll show the market report for the Torrance area, and cool stuff. It gives them a map, and it gives them recent listings in that area. So to answer your question, Misty, someone who clicks on this listing, for example, will pop up on my KvCore. Let's see if I could get to it. Let me close this page. Boom. So say they're on this page right here, and they click on any of these sold listings in the Torrance area, or recent listing, or anything at all, that will actually register right here. Let me close this real quick on my dashboard. It'll say such and such person viewed a listing, and it will populate right here, and you'll see exactly what they clicked on and what they were looking for. So that's how that ends up right here. Okay, there's a question in the chat. Face the name. Yeah. Thank you. Let me close this. All right, so yeah, so that's how that happens, Misty. I don't know if that clarifies that for you, but yeah, and they even get the option to search for other areas, counties, or neighborhoods, so if you want to see stuff in 90504, you could pop that in there, and then it will generate a market report for that area there. I don't know what happened there. Oh, somebody's trying to join the room. So I'm trying to make it see another neighborhood here. So let me. Okay, technical difficulties, but it's supposed to show them other areas too. I think it just might be my browser messing up. It's not showing that information. But that's kind of what that process looks like. Okay, so I'm going to close this page. And yeah, they have all this information. I'm going to close this page also, close the Facebook one. Does it tell you if they visit your page but didn't click on any listings? No, it does not register that for you, because KvCore won't know, the person's name or email or phone number. So the only time it will populate here is if KvCore has any information about them. So that's why they need to sign up with their email or phone number for it to populate right here, because then you have no way of getting back to them. It's data you're not able to use because it doesn't come with any information. There might be another place somewhere where you can see all that data, but not to my knowledge. The only thing that will pop up here is people who have submitted their information in conjunction with clicking on a listing or something. So I don't know if that answers your question, Raquel, but that's the case. All right, so yeah, that's how stuff populates right here. Okay, so let's go back to our playbook. Gather your sphere, open the book. Let's see, I'm getting some questions here. Oh, I just let Misty back in the room. I'm not sure, but I'll keep an eye out for her trying to rejoin in case she crashes again. All right, thank you, Tisha. And this is being recorded too, so we can go over it again. All right. So we've already done the import your sphere play. We are on capture social media sphere play. Okay, so now you know how the market report squeeze page kind of works. Okay, so this is a way for you to give free, information to people out there, and they can click on that link and provide you with their email or phone number, and your website will keep track of the properties they look at or what kind of searches they do. Okay, and that will keep feeding into your whole database of people you need to get back to. Something that's also really powerful is you can add a specific hashtag to anyone who clicks on that link. Okay, so if I click on add right here, and let's do Facebook for the source, in case you're planning on putting this on Facebook, you can add it could be whatever you want. Let's just call it tests right now. Okay, so I created this extra hashtag, and once I press save, this link right here actually refreshed. I don't know if you paid attention. So anyone who clicks on this link and signs up on my website will get registered to my smart CRM, and they will have the test hashtag attached to them. So if you're trying to see where a particular contact came from, this can be very powerful because you can identify them through that hashtag. Okay. There could be multiple scenarios where you do something like this. Maybe you're sharing this market report on your social media page, but you're only trying to attract, maybe veterans. You can add some, text on there saying, hey, veterans, click right here and I can give you a free market report for whatever reason. And whenever they sign up, they'll get the test hashtag ad. So later on, when you want to get back to those people, you can kind of select all of them at once by just searching with this hashtag you have automatically set to them, which is super powerful. And if you want to take that off, you just press the add button again, click the little X, and then you save, and then it goes away. Okay. So that's what the market report squeeze page looks like. And this is how you can get more leads and capture more people and get more information. And at the bottom here, just like the market report squeeze page, you have the home valuation landing page. So obviously this is geared towards, more so sellers. In the same concept, you can, it'll provide you with a link for them to click on. And once they go to that link, it'll bring up a page where they can put their home address, and the KvCore website will actually give them an estimate of what their property might be worth and the recent listings that have sold in their area and a bunch of cool info. And obviously you'll capture the email and contact information for them to be able to see that, which all will be funneled into your smart CRM tool. Okay, so I'll show you guys this one also really quickly. So the domain area right here, this should only be your KvCore website. You won't get the option to add anything else. I don't know why there's even a search bar, but this should just stay as your KvCore website. Okay, and then the link right here, you can copy this and just paste it on your social media platform of your choosing, or just in the same way as the market report squeeze page, you could just press the share button on the options we have down there. And as you see, it'll also create that whole post for you. You don't have to do anything. If you want, you can add, your own information on there if you're targeting a specific group of people, or just leave it blank, and that's that. Okay. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, so on here, you can also post it to your story. you can add a bunch of cool information on here too. So I'm going to close out this page and we're going to go back to the platform. So yeah, you have the option to share it on Twitter. You have the option to share it on Pinterest. And I wish they also had an option to add hashtags to people who click on that link, but I don't know why there isn't one. Maybe in the future, they're going to add that on there. So let me kind of show you actually what that link looks like. Okay, so we're going to open up a new page right here. Let's make it a little bigger. So this is what that landing page looks like for the home valuation. So once they click on that link, this is what they're going to see. They can enter their address, and let's just give a random address on there. Let's see, wherever this is. And also, I don't know why it does this. It's actually going to ask them twice. So once they put their address, it'll take them to your website, and then they'll have to put it in once more. But once they do, I believe this is the address we chose. So once they put their information on there and they press next, it will generate that market report. I've signed in already, so that's why it didn't ask me for the email and the phone number. But once they do, they will kind of see all this information right here. Okay, and it has your info at the bottom too. Here goes my bio again. So make sure you have a nice bio in there. Okay, so let's close this. And there we go. So now we know how to capture leads from our own contacts list. And we also know how to capture leads through our social media sphere of influence. You have plenty of ways to do that. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or just copy the link and paste it anywhere you want. Okay, so we've completed the import sphere section. So now, do we have any questions before I move on to the other sections? All right, no worries. So we're gonna move on to create a sphere group right here. Okay, this is the important stuff. Also, make sure to press done whenever you're finished with any of these plays. That way your information can register, and then it'll automatically move you to the next step. Okay, let's see, we have someone trying to enter the room. All right. Am I moving too fast, guys? Please tell me in the chat. Any feedback would be awesome. How are we doing? Thumbs up. Looking good. Cool, cool. Let me switch this right here. All right. Next section we have is create sphere groups. Okay, so this section, let me get rid of all this so we can start fresh. So when you create we have a question. Oh, thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. When you create in this section right here, when you create a sphere contact hashtag, that's basically you grouping contacts together. So you're basically creating another hashtag, but through the playbook, you can interact with those hashtags in a really cool and streamlined fashion. So for instance, once you get to this play right here, we're going to add another hashtag. And let's say we want to call our first sphere group, let's call them expired. Okay. I already have an expired hashtag, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to change this up a little bit. Let's call it expired one, but principle is the same. Just create whatever you want your group to be called, and they will get this hashtag attributed to them. Okay, so the first group right here is expired one, and you can create multiple groups, and this system will let you go through each of them and add people under it. We're just gonna do one for now, and then we're gonna press save and continue. So once you create that sphere group, now you can see at the top here, you can add people to that sphere group we just created, which is called expired one. So you can add contacts manually. You can type up their names. Most of my contacts are expired contacts. So let's just add a random person. Let's see. Let's say Julio. We can add Julio to the expired sphere group. Or if you want to do this a little bit faster, you can also add a specific group of people who have the same hashtag. So maybe I'm going to type expired here, Mojo EXP. So this is the contacts I've imported and I've attributed this hashtag to them. So if I click this, it'll add all of those contacts into the sphere group. Okay. So I've added Julio and I've also added any contact that has the Mojo EXP hashtag. Something that's really cool also, you can add your filters on there. So remember that test filter we created? So any contact that meets the criteria of that filter can also be added to the sphere group under the expired one hashtag. Okay. So you can add that too if you would like. And then boom, we've added a simple contact, Julio. We've added anyone with the Mojo EXP hashtag, and we also have our filter all into this sphere group hashtag right here. Okay, so once we're done with that, we're going to save and continue at the bottom. And as you see, this is the next section. Right now, we're under alerts and automations. This section doesn't have, this section is not only attributed to your sphere group. This is more so all of your contacts. But on here, you can kind of set the behavior you want KvCore to do. I don't know if you could even say do a behavior, but you can kind of automatically set actions that you want KvCore to take when a specific type of contact performs a specific action. So for instance, you can have it set to where all your active leads, all your new leads, prospect and sphere, if they revisit, your website after 14 days, if this is checked right here, this will send you an alert saying, hey, such and such visited your website after 14 days. And KvCore will automatically send them an email. Okay, you can preview that email by clicking on preview right here, and it will show you what that kind of looks like. It'll say, hi, wherever it is, I'm glad you're able to spend a bit of time on my site again, etc., etc. You can edit these messages by pressing the edit right next and, go to town, do your own thing, and make it look as nice as you want. KvCore will also text them if this is on. And in the same way, you can preview that text or you can edit that text, make it something you like. I recommend leaving all of this on because it takes a little bit of time to actually customize all of these messages, but the ones KvCore have are pretty cool and they're already made for you. So just go ahead and turn it on. Make sure KvCore is following up with people for you, because if you have all of these off, every day that's people you're not getting back to. So it's better to at least keep an open line of communication with people. And then later down the line, as you get more advanced and more familiar, you can edit the messages KvCore is sending out. So I recommend tweaking these, making sure you're taking advantage of all these pre-made features, and just keep them on and let it do its thing. Okay. So this is the setup contacts behavior alert section or play. So once you have this set up, you want to save and continue. And in this next section is almost the same as the previous one. This one is more so geared towards when it's someone's birthday or maybe when it's someone's anniversary. You can have KvCore automatically send them messages if it has that information. Okay. I don't have anyone's birthday on my CRM for some reason. So it's going to show 0 contacts with upcoming birthdays and 0 contacts with upcoming anniversaries. But if I did, you could keep all of these on because you want to wish everyone a happy birthday. You don't want to discriminate against anyone. You want the prospect to have a nice birthday and people you close with to have a nice birthday. So make sure, you follow up with those people. It's good because it shows that, you pay attention, even though KvCore is remembering everything for you, and it'll automatically send out emails when it's that special day for them. And you can see the email KvCore actually sends out by clicking change template right here. It'll kind of send them something like this. It'll have a birthday cake picture. And it says, it's your day. I hope it's filled with celebration, favorite things, da, da, da. And then thank you for trusting me with your real estate needs. So you're always top of mind when it's real estate related. So any way you can do that is welcome in my book. In the same way, you can do the same thing for anniversaries here too. Okay, I don't have anyone's anniversary, but if you did, make sure this stuff is on. I'll actually turn everything on right now so that when I do put that information on there, KvCore is already on it. Okay, so that's this section also complete. We're gonna save and continue. And that's the first playbook done. So we successfully imported our contacts into KvCore, the manual route where you upload your own file. And then we've also shared links on our social media pages to import contacts from those sources as well. And then after that, we've created a sphere group for our playbook, and we've called it Expired One. And we've included contacts we have in our CRM to be under that hashtag so that we can interact with those people a little bit easier. You could go to town, create as many as you want, but we have one called Expired One. So after we've done that, we have put people under that hashtag, and we could do that manually. You could do it from hashtags, or you could add people from a filter you create. Okay, and you can see at the top here, we have 64 people under the sphere group, and we just did that together. If you click on the number, it'll actually show you, all those people that are included. Okay, and then after that, we've set up our alerts and automated things that we want KvCore to do, and pretty self-explanatory stuff, super easy. It looks scary, but it's really nice once you get a hang of it. So now that we have gathered our sphere and we have completed display, we're going to do the last thing. I know we're well over the hour mark, but bear with me. We're gonna work our sphere, okay? So this is that second playbook. So you could get to it this way, or you can just still go under playbooks and then go to work your sphere after you're done with gather your sphere. So we're gonna open this up. Let's see, before we get started on working our sphere, any questions whatsoever? How are we looking? Make sure to use the chat, interrupt me at any moment if anything's confusing or you have any input. Going once, going twice. All right. So this is the Work Your Sphere playbook, okay? And I've just opened that up right now. So once you open that playbook, after completing your Gather Your Sphere playbook, you're gonna get access to this. And what this playbook does is gives you a cool to-do list of things that you should be doing with those contacts you just created. Okay, we're gonna go through it so it'll make more sense. So once you open this, we'll start with the first play. And that first play is called Fill in the Gaps of Your Contacts. And as you can see here, this is the sphere group we created together. So this sphere group, it looks like there are contacts within it that don't have certain information. So this play right here will cycle through each of those contacts and have you fill in that information if you know it. So first example is me. This is my name. Looks like I don't have a home anniversary. I don't have one, so I'm gonna skip. And then you could go through each of the contacts that way. It looks like this contact doesn't have a last name. You could put that in. So this kind of makes sure that you search for that info and populate that into your system. You can do this manually under the CRM tab, that place we looked at before. But the great thing about Playbooks is it has all of that for you in this, playbook, they call it. So you could do everything at once in one place. Very streamlined and very quick and easy. So it'll have you cycle through all those people. You can put their information on there. Once you're done with that, you're going to save and continue. And once we do that, it'll take us to the next play. Okay, this is a very powerful play right here. It's called Capitalize on Sphere Opportunities. So what that's going to do is anyone under that Expired One group, it'll give me the option to, and just from the screen, I can add them to an email campaign or a smart campaign, KvCore calls it. And I don't have many set up, I only have this one, but also that's something that's really important that we need to hopefully touch on future Tech Tuesdays. But you can put people under a specific campaign and have KvCore just do that for you. Super simple. You can just select it from this drop down here and then press add campaign. Now, like I said before, I really recommend you create your own contact and then play around with these features so you can see what they look like, you know, for the people receiving these messages from your system. So try to be familiar with everything before you click on these buttons, because I know typically when you do stuff on computers, you'll click on a button and it'll say, are you sure you want to do this? And then you can press yes or no. This section will not ask you if you're sure. It'll just go ahead and do it. And actually, when I set up my KvCore, I sent an email to all the 6,000 people in my database by mistake. And that was a little frustrating, but it was a market report, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't just send any gibberish stuff. But yeah, don't press these buttons unless you're sure that's what you want to do, because it's not going to ask you whether you're sure or not. And you can set all these contacts up with a search alert also. So it'll actually tell you if your contacts have addresses or if they don't have addresses attributed to them. So if they have an address, so like it says right here, one contact does not have a search alert, but we do have an address for that contact in the system. So for that one person, I can create a search alert just from the screen and enroll them in that, just like that, super easy from the click of a button. And under it, it'll show the rest of the contacts. So it looks like 61 out of the 62 people in my sphere group, expired one, does not have a search alert and do not have an address on file. So what you can do is you can still send them some information, a market search alert, by clicking this button right here. And you can put in a general area. So most likely all of these guys will be within the LA County area. So maybe you can just send everyone, you know, a Los Angeles market search alert area. So you could type that in. And then what kind of listing you want to include, single family, townhouse, you can scroll through the drop down right here and then press done. And it will send those people that generic search alert. Okay, I'm going to cancel. And then in the same way you can send out search alerts, you could just do the market reports also. You could create a market report for people who already have an address in the system, so it'll tailor it to that address. Or for the people who don't have an address, you can just send a generic one. And just like for the search alert, you could just put in a general city and just send that out. Okay, so just from this screen alone, you're able to add people to a smart campaign, enroll them in search alerts, and enroll them in market reports. So that's the beauty of Playbooks. Everything is there for you. It's streamlined, it's quick, and it makes sure you didn't forget something, okay? Because contacts are going to come into your system all the time. You might forget them. You might forget to add them to a smart campaign. You might forget to, you know, set them up with a search alert. But on this screen, it's in your face. So you know to go through all of these checklists and make sure you're advertising and promoting pretty much everything at all times. Okay, so that is the capitalize on sphere opportunities play. Okay, any questions before we move on? We're almost done. I'm just going to go through these bottom ones right here. All right. So once you're done sending out the, you know, adding them to campaigns, setting them up with search alerts and whatnot, you can also go to reach out to sphere contacts. Okay, so on this play right here, it'll generate a list of people within that sphere group we created, people who I have not talked to in the past 90 days. Okay, so it will know that information, and you can actually email all of those people at once to reset that clock. You could text them, canned messages. So canned messages, I didn't know what this was. I had to Google it. It's just a set of already made responses, you know. So canned messages that KvCore has, you have these two to choose from. Or if you want to type up your own message to these people you have not talked to over the past 90 days, you can click the email button at the bottom and compose your own, email. Okay, and you can set that up how you want, or you could choose a different template for them. Sky's the limit. I'm gonna cancel this. You can also text them, drop a voicemail. Again, the voicemail thing is a paid thing, so just so you guys know. You can also send them a video, but you can only do one person at a time. If you want to do multiple, send a video to multiple people at once, it is also an extra fee to do that. Okay, so in this play, this will make sure you're in touch with pretty much everyone and no one has not been neglected for over 90 days. Okay, so once you're done with this section, you also have the option to create live event lists. Those are another way you can kind of group certain people together. So whether that be people who just recently got married, so you can add people, that recently got married. I know everyone knows someone that's about to or is or just got married. If we click on the arrow, it'll take us to another list. Do you know anyone who recently had a child? Do you know anyone who recently changed the jobs? You can kind of populate that. I was playing around with this prior, so that's why you see Steve right here. He's actually a friend of mine who started working for an electric car company. So I was just messing around with that. Anyone who recently got divorced. And on the 5th section, you can actually create your own life event. So anything, it could be anything you want it to be, maybe, college graduation. You kind of create that list and then add people, who just graduated from college. And once you add someone, so let's actually add Steve back here. So you guys, okay, he's still here. So Steve recently changed jobs. So once I finish filling up all of these lists, I can save and continue. And it'll actually have me dial that list, okay? And KvCore will remember every single year to tell me that, hey, it's been over a year since Steve changed jobs. Go ahead and call Steve and let him know that you do remember. How's everything been at the new job? And make sure to remind him you're still a real estate agent and to, have him keep you at the top of his mind. So that's another way to keep track of people and what's going on in their life and be a little bit more personal, okay? So you can call using the dialer right on here. You can send Steve a video or drop a voicemail. You can see it's just one of one because it's just Steve. And he just recently changed jobs. Okay, so that's this section. And then at the bottom right here, this is one of the last few plays. So I'm going to save and continue, of course. On here, so this section doesn't only affect your sphere group that we just created. This is just for pretty much anyone you want to add. So you can actually create a newsletter, okay? This is really cool because you can keep in touch with people consistently by creating a nice, well put together newsletter, which KvCore will actually let you make on here, or you can just make yours somewhere else and copy and paste it into KvCore. So let's just go through this really quickly. On here, you can choose who receives these monthly newsletter. You can only send it to people with a certain filter like we created before. You can do contacts with a specific hashtag, or you can do contacts with a specific status. So whether they've just closed, whether they're a prospect or still a sphere, you can target people that way. You can set when to send it, and you can press the edit right here, and then you can type up that newsletter. Something that's really cool, if you click on the advanced editor right here, it has this really cool system for you to actually build out a nice looking newsletter. Okay, I have not played around with this too much. I use Canva, which is a third-party program you can make cool graphics stuff with, but you can also use this right here to, kind of build something nice. You can add different rows to it. You can add content, you can add buttons. You could play around with that. Maybe we'll create a newsletter at another time together and send that out live. But yeah, so you can create that there and then just have it sent by pressing this button at the top. And then we come up on our last section. So I'm going to skip this because I'm not sending anything right now. So this last section we've already seen. This was also part of the last playbook, but you can, share a market report, or you can share a home valuation landing page with people that you can share through social media, Twitter, or, whatever you want. And you can also have the link to it to post anywhere you want. So we've already seen this already. Okay, so now we are pretty much done. So I'm going to close this out. So now we know how to gather, import your sphere into KvCore. We know how to, attribute a hashtag to them. We know how to create a sphere group. And then once all of that's done, we can come to the Work Your Sphere playbook and actually, work them. You can send them, search alerts. You can enroll them in smart campaigns, a bunch of cool stuff. So everything you've seen under Playbooks, you can do manually, but Playbooks is just a way for you to streamline the process, make it really quick. Okay. So it looks like I have a question here. Let's see. Yeah, for sure, Melissa. Yeah, I'll look that up and put it in the chat very shortly. Okay, but does anyone have any questions? How are we looking? Anything at all? Let me pull up Frank's contact here so you guys can reach him too. Did Frank leave already?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Frank, Melissa was asking for your contact.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, anyone, are we all masters of the playbook? Do you have any questions unrelated to any of this? Any suggestions? Anything, anyone? For sure. I don't want to forget to do that. So here's my contact. And also, I am working on short videos with, short explanations of different sections of KvCore. So please reach out to me and I will send you the link to that once I'm editing it. This is me. Awesome. So there's my number and my email and my name. Contact me at any time if you have any questions. And again, if I don't know the answer to it, I'll find it and make sure to let you know on the next meeting or when you reach out to me. I think somebody's mic is on, so please go ahead and mute yourself. Thank you. But yeah, we've covered a lot today and I don't see any questions. So yeah, I think we'll call it a night. Frank, what do you think?
All right. Well, hey, as always, Coach, thank you very much for breaking it down to us. And everyone, please remember Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, we've got tons of education for you. 8 p.m., same link, same days. Be sure to come in tomorrow because our coach, Renee, is going to come in and break it down on property values. Always a very, very, very good topic to get some learning on because your buyers, your sellers, it's going to be critical that you understand how to evaluate the value of property on either side. So come in tomorrow with Renee Oliva, 33 year in the business appraiser, and same link, same time. Once again, thank you very much, Kane. Thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, next Monday we are off for contracts because it's a holiday Monday, I believe. I believe it's Labor Day. So so we'll see you the following Monday, and I have a guest home inspector coming in to talk about home inspections, what they're looking for, what it all means, what they do. Everyone have a fantastic night, and thank you once again, Coach Kane.
No, thank you guys for listening to me for an hour and a half. Yeah, thank you also, Frank. Looking forward to seeing you next time.
We'll talk tomorrow. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye-bye, guys. Sumati, I just saw your message. Yes, just text, email, just let me know, okay? Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.